All right. And we're live.
All right. Yep, I got the notice. We're good. All right. Hi, everyone. We're gonna have to start this
Were you
again.
say happy something?
Record. Say happy something. I don't know what I was gonna say. Okay. When we have the podcast, it's gonna like cut there. Anyway, hello,
Like you've
everyone.
been here before. That's not
All
getting
right.
cut out. Come on, that's just like
That's true. That won't get cut out, but that's okay. Anyway, we are so excited today because we are with Jasmine Lee with the Jasmine Lee team and eXp Realty. And we have been trying to get Jasmine on this podcast, and it's all my fault because we just kept having to reschedule and all that. So we're so happy to have you on today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having it. I love it already.
oh yeah, pose. There it is.
Perfect.
Awesome. So why don't we just get started so that everybody who's filing in can be greeted with a little bit of an intro of what you're all about, where you work, what you do. Give us a little bit of that minute long. Who's Jas?
It won't be a minute long, but my name is Jasmine Lee. I'm mom to our CEO from our team. He's now 8 years old, and I adore him. He's pinned on our Instagram, and I was shocked because this year he did his first speaking engagement. Katie, did you see it? And he was on stage with over 400 realtors. It was a snowstorm, so our coach was like, "Okay, I have a spot left. This agent didn't show up." I was like, "Okay, can my son go on?" And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah." So 10 minutes notice, he came on stage. So that was definitely my highlight. And he rocked it. And one of the key things he said, he dropped so many gems, but he said, "Don't give up, grow up," to the audience. And the agents were just like, "Oh my gosh." He was 7 at the time, but the agents were just like, "This is crazy." So it was really one of those memorable moments. But I love real estate. I got into real estate right after high school in 2004. Like, real estate has stole my whole adulthood, I'd say, all my 20s and 30s. But I love it. I love pouring back into people and seeing those, seeds that you plant bear fruit, and other agents grow and our clients grow their wealth. So it's an absolute love.
That's amazing. And you can tell you're so passionate about it. And actually, I was going through your website earlier on, and I just love like your mission statement, your vision, like all of that stuff. It's so authentic. And it just draws you right in. So I just love it. And it just shows that you're so passionate about doing all this. So that's amazing. And the fact that your son did that, holy cow.
I was like, he could go on stage and tell them my mom's a hippie. She walks around the house naked. I don't know what he was gonna say, but he kept it PG, so we're all good.
That's awesome. Woo.
You're gonna have him back though. That was just volume 1. So
that is true.
Don't give him ideas.
He earned his Robux, Daniel. He earned his Robux.
It reminds me when we walked in on one of our daughters recording an impromptu recruiting commercial for our brokerage once.
That's true.
It was so funny. And she was like, I mean, she knew English, but what was she like? 5?
Maybe
like she
5,
was,
yeah. It's so funny.
And she was just like, please come. That was her tagline. Please come.
She's so polite. I love it. How old are you now?
She's 7 now, and the rest are 9, 11, and 13. So she's the baby. But still the one doing the commercials, most likely.
Oh, sweet.
She could be the opening act for your son one day, maybe.
Okay, we gotta get them together. I love it.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I guess take us back to when you first started. So you started right out of high school. That is like, how was that for you? Because I would imagine that it was difficult with being as young as you were and as you are now, but just kind of, getting into it and trying to
find your way. So you know what? I remember going in school. I remember my professor, Larry Sequoia. I always, shout him out because when I was in class, I pulled him aside, or I said it in class. I was just like, I'm so young coming, into real estate as in high school. And I'm thinking I can only sell condos. He's like, Jasmine, you can sell whatever you want to sell. And I was like, okay, that's good. And, if I never said that, or, this is why you should share your limiting beliefs, because if I didn't share that, I would have been like, I can only sell condos, and that would have been my focus. Nothing would have been a bad focus, but just having that conversation, walking through and sharing it, and then building your tribe in real estate, that really helps you to get rid of those limiting beliefs that you might have starting out.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's just you. So you dove in head first. Was it trial by fire for you out of the gate, or did you have some sort of mentors or things that were guiding you in the early years? Or did you
Okay,
just
listen,
jump right in?
that was the like the smoke and mirrors. Hey, you know what? Come into real estate. Back in the days, it was like, come into the office. I'm gonna find an agent to shadow, and you're gonna shadow them and see what they do. You know, that culture back then and that brokerage I was with is really like everybody just did their own thing, their private office. They weren't sharing. That's kind of how it was. And so I remember calling this realtor. My friend said, oh, you know, I work with this realtor in the marketing. I think she's phenomenal. Reach out to her. I'm sure she'd want to mentor you after I exhausted the brokerage. So this is real time. Okay, guys. He might do a dance. Mom, he might do a wiggle. Mom, yes.
That is so.
A solar eclipse in Toronto right now.
Listen,
no way.
What?
It's at 2:25.
Remember, I'm going to be on a podcast today,
Okay.
honey. Thank you.
Breaking news.
You gotta
Oh,
tell
man.
them who you are. What's your name?
You're an astrologer, clearly. Or an astronomer.
This is the thing. To the moms, you know, during COVID. Thank you, honey. So during COVID, I always like the moms are like, oh my gosh, my kids are in the background making noise. I'm talking to clients. I'm like, listen, just roll with it. Everybody's dealing with it. So
That's
don't
it.
get embarrassed. Like this is real world reality of what's happening. So like just roll with it. There's no B-roll. It is what it is.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
No, I love that.
I mean, that's a lesson number 3 probably of this episode already to take, is just go with it. Like everybody's so concerned, whether it's social media, whether it's podcasts, whether it's Zoom, whatever, meeting your clients. Life is life, right? And people like you more for that.
Exactly, for your authenticity. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Like we're all moms, and it makes you more relatable when you're real. And don't believe perfection. Like that perfection thing, throw it out the window. Like I tell new agents, you didn't come out of the womb selling real estate. Like everybody started somewhere, right?
Yeah. No, 100%.
So thank you. So starting with real estate, I got that lesson from my teacher. And I remember like my first client it's a lot of my friends' parents that I was working with at that time. Helping them buy and sell real estate. And I remember I got a referral, and my mom was a big advocate. She was just like, my daughter's a realtor. She was telling everybody to the point I was just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing, because I wasn't dressed like a realtor that day in my mind. You know, I was like super casual when she's telling everybody, but thank you for like, she helped me push my business. And I wasn't a secret agent when I started, because she made sure everybody knew, and I always promoted my business. But I remember my first client, and their son was like, hey, you know, my clients hired, my parents hired you to sell our property, but how old are you? I was like, I'll tell you after I sell your property, your parents' property. So I was like, okay, I dodged that bullet. And then when it was sold, he's like, hey, remember? I'm like, so then I told him, he's like, you're younger than me, and you sold my parents their home, and now they're going to buy another one. And I'm like, yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Be thankful you got me.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. So now, like, your progression into growing and having a team, like when did that start for you?
That's such a great question. And you know what, like, and growing a team is such a new thing still to me. Like nobody has it figured out. There's so many different ways you can build and grow your team. But I knew I need to grow a team when part 2, guys. Yeah. Can you give me 10? Can I just finish this and then I'm gonna.
Where's Pop J?
We're recording right now. He's not on this call. Bye.
No,
Cardi, give me 20. Give me 20. Yes, he's in Toronto. He's at the office.
Okay, good.
And that's the other thing. They only do it to the moms. They don't do it to the dads, right, Katie?
Very true.
Like,
yes.
that's
Yes.
how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's always like, where's mommy? She's recording a podcast. Daddy's right here. Okay. I'm going to go bother mommy.
I'm gonna get mom. So yes. Okay. So where were we at?
There's a
Building a
solar
team.
eclipse at 2:25.
Oh.
And that. It's more important, but yeah.
That's true. So building a team, I was working with clients in the day, and I was working on my business at night. I'm like, this cannot continue. This is not what I want to do forever. And I told my broker manager, I want to grow a team. I need help. He's like, you know what? At that time, he's like, Jasmine, you're doing amazing by yourself. It's so much headaches to have a team. Don't even worry about it. Don't even do it. So I was like, ugh. And that's when I got recruited to another brokerage for that reason. And then this brokerage promised to help me build up my team. They're going to help me. And it made sense to make the move. They didn't. And it was just trial and error, guys. So I knew I wanted to grow my family. At that time, I was single. I didn't have any kids. And I was projecting like my future plans. I wanted to have a family, and I wanted to have balance. Because I remember sitting on this panel, and it was all women in real estate. I do a lot of panels. We're talking, and this one lady said, I'm an amazing realtor, but I'm a horrible mom. but my kids have 2 properties each. And I was like, that is not the legacy I want to live. Right. And then another time I got a referral from another realtor, and she's like, I want you to help my daughter with her property. And I was like, great. So I found out that both of her parents were realtors. And I was like, what was that like being a child of 2 realtors? She's like, normally I got forgotten about at soccer practice. I was like the last one to get picked up. And she's just telling me all these stories like, that's horrible. Right. So that was my reason for wanting to start a team, to create more balance in my life, and also to just help other women realtors, because I knew what it was like starting this business as a woman, what the demographics in real estate looks like and feels like, and just creating that tribe in real estate. So that was how I started out building my team.
Hmm.
Cool. So as you built your team, did you come at it with a here's what I need first, here's what I need next kind of approach? Or did you just say, I need some people that think like me? Or was it the opposite and say, listen, I need people who don't think like me so that we can have a balanced approach? Or you weren't even thinking about that?
Well, Daniel, most entrepreneurs, I'd say we hire our family and friends starting. That's like the worst move. Like, you're gonna burn through family and friends. Don't do it. Learn from my mistake. Don't do it. But I started with an admin. We had great times. And I remember like when I was pregnant with Cartier, who's now 8, we would take like short naps, cat naps in the afternoon together.
Hmm.
My admin and I, because I was just like, I'm tired. I need a 15-minute. He's like, and Cartier's kicking my butt. He's like, okay. And then next thing you know, he's lying, taking a 15-minute in the office too. And I was like, so I started with an admin, and you know what? I do hire with experience, but it's also, energy too. The energy of the person, you want to vibe with them, because, I tell our team that we're going to spend more time together and pour into each other more than sometimes your couples or your family. So we really have to like this is like your first or second family. We're going to be with each other all the time. I just had a one-on-one with my agents and my sales team, and we're just talking about affirmations. Like, what are you listening to? What are you pouring into yourself about? And having the right energy in this kind of market, because it can be a lot right now, right? We're back into bidding wars, a lot's happening. So just how are you pouring into yourself? So that was our one-on-ones today. So building a team, it's really, my vision for my team was never massive, so many people that I have to manage. It's more quality over quantity. And this is what I love about the brokers we're with EXP. I can have like this quaint team that's quality for me, and I can have all these amazing partners that I can partner with around the world, and we still can collab and pour into each other, and they're not my competition.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so important, especially in this industry, because that's often what we hear is people just feel so alone, and everybody's just always looking at you and wondering how you got that listing and kind of wanting to step all over each other. So it's so nice to be able to collab with your own team as well as your brokerage, because it just feels like you just feel supported, and that makes a huge difference.
And just like you said, if they're feeling alone, that's partially they have to take ownership and reach out to people, because just like we're not part of the same brokerage, right? We're in the same industry. You reach out to me, I reach out to you. Like, you just celebrated a win, and I was like DMing you like, hey, remember the podcast? So just building your own tribe and being intentional. You can't wait for people to be like, hey, come join me. Like, you have to be intentional about your connections too.
Yeah, that's extremely important. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So if you were to start a team again, would you start with that admin hire first? Do you think that's like a good first step for most people?
100%, because you want to focus on your where your highest and best use of your time is, right? So that's belly to belly, more relationships, building out our business. Right now it's more focusing on like our systems and growing in different ways and really fine tuning our client journeys and our realtor journey. So that's my focus right now. But for starting on a team, 100%, I'd say write down a list of what you enjoy doing and the things that you don't enjoy doing, and hire for the things that you don't enjoy doing anymore, right? Or what's not your highest and best use of your time. So like transaction departments, like, I don't even want to know. Get it done. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So where's the journey taken you to now? I mean, that was the humble beginnings, but you're kicking some ass and have been. So now, I mean, the team, how do you operate now with your team? Like, is it a divide and conquer? Do you hit everything as a team, or is it sort of a happy medium depending on what's on your plate?
Well, great question. So like, I would say our team pillars right now is always first database. People who know us, like us, trust us. That's a great source of our business. Second is it's kind of a ties. Agent referrals. We have a lot of agent partners all around the world, Ottawa, Montreal, Florida. We get a lot of business from agents and you know what? I've never received so much agent referrals until I moved to this brokerage. But also we go to the conferences now. We have more time to go out and really connect with people. So we've gotten a lot of agent referrals. Third is social media. So just connecting with people authentically. Like I like so many people like, oh my gosh, I need a break from social media. I love social media. This is how we connected, Katie, through social media. This is the first time we're actually having a call together, and it's because of social media. So this is the power of social media. So again, with everything, it's intentional how you use it. So that's our pillars of business. And we kind of divide it by area with the team. I work mainly with sellers, and our team works with buyers and sellers. So I don't call our team members buyers agents. To me, that's just kind of pigeonholing them, and I don't want to do that for them. They work with sellers and buyers. I mainly work with the sellers, but I'm in communication with all of our clients together. So we have group chats with clients. We know what's happening when they get an offer accepted, when they're bidding on a property, when they're doing buyer visits, we're all like involved.
No, that's really good. And I love the fact that you're not calling them buyers agents, because it like the potential, like it limits their potential, or it feels like it limits their potential. Yeah.
They're my partners. They're my partners.
No, that's great. That's a great leadership there. That's for sure. So in terms of, where you started with your client base and now where you're at, like how did that evolution come to be? Like, I know you said at the beginning, it was a lot of your parents' friends and things like that. Like, how did you get to the point you're at now where you've got a much bigger database? And, I don't know if there's more leads coming in.
Yeah. So I would say, what our foundation for our business is just treating people how you want to be treated. And that's, to me, how it really has grown our business. Even our marketing is like, how should we tell our story on social media? It's just sharing things that I'd want to see on social media. So everything we do in our business is like what kind of marketing I want to watch, or how I want to be treated if I'm buying a property or selling a property. And so, yes, I have my parents support like our network, and it's really about your database. This is the unsexy stuff of real estate. And I'm like really pounding that into everybody right now, especially with all the noise. And like, as realtors, we get contacted maybe 5 to 10 times a day, minimum. Text, calls, email, social media. Pay us $3,000 a month. We're going to get you leads. Like, you really, and do you want to work with those kind of clients that, you had to buy their time and attention? We're getting inbound calls, we're getting referrals, and it's a warmer handoff. It's a trust. They appreciate your time. They're grateful to work with you. Rixie just got an amazing gift from a client, and she's like, I feel like this is over and above. I'm like, you deserve it. Like, her affirmation in the morning that she writes in her journal is that, I find clients that are abundant, grateful, and appreciative work with me every single day. So we're just sharing our affirmation. So those are the kind of things, and you'll track your tribe, your type of clients that you want to work with. Not everybody's going to want to work with us. That's okay. We're not for everybody. Right. But it's so much enjoyment. That's why I can be in sales for over 20 years plus and not feel like I'm burnt out or I'm spent, because we really enjoy what we're doing, and we work with the right people.
Yeah.
Based on that, like, how much do you find, and I can imagine we probably know the answer to this question already, but I want you to talk about it.
Okay.
How much people already feel they know you when they start working with you because of how much you're out there, and whatever's brought them to you is you. Like, you were talking about being real, being authentic. Most of the sources seem to be referral, or seeing your work, or reading a review, or whatever. Like, are people already in your wheelhouse before you've even met them?
And that's a beautiful thing about social media. Like, you can share and connect and people are like, I've been following you for 3 years. I watch your journey. Or when I meet with them, just like, oh, how is the CEO? They don't even call him Cartier, because we've already branded and shared that message. He's the CEO. He's the CEO because, we believe in generational wealth, and what we're pouring into you, you're going to help create more wealth for your family. And then the CEO is going to help you with your kids, and it's just going to be paying it forward. So like, that is the beauty of social media and connecting with people. They already feel like they know you. And I do share stories like when I separated, and I was a single mom, and I was sharing that, like, my DMs blew up. And so and then of course it was like right before COVID. So there's so many people that didn't want to be in relationships are just like, Jasmine, I'm so proud of you that you did it. I can't do it. There's bills to be paid. I wish I could. So just being authentic and sharing your journey, and not being embarrassed of anything you go through. It's just part of, your life's journey.
Yeah. No, I love that. And so for you, with your social media strategy, is it just more natural? Like, do you have a plan weekly or monthly in terms of like the content you want to put out, or Or does it just kind of, as you think about it, you just put it out there?
So I treat our social media like if a client asks me a question today, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if this is the question that like that's current and like this is what I'm going to talk about. Yesterday I was meeting with 2 realtors and it came up like I was meeting with 2 realtor friends for lunch that I haven't seen in a while. And it's like you don't have to be the same brokerage to collab and to be friends. Like it's sometimes real estate can be very cliquish. So it's just sharing that, you know, you can be at different brokerages and you guys can get together. So it's a lot of like what's happening right now, what people are going through, what's current, and the kind of questions that are coming up. Those are the kind of topics we talk about on social media. And yes, we do have content days. So usually we meet. So every Tuesday we meet. We have a team meeting, and after team meeting, we do content. So we talk about what's happening, what do you have planned. And Rixie, we call her the queen of social media, and she's really great at quick and just getting us ideas, and we share them and we put them together as a team. So on the topic of social media, we just had a reel challenge. So during COVID, we created this real challenge where it's like a virtual networking. So we said, like, we shared, like, we're doing 30 days of reels on social media, anybody who wants to join. So we get a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, realtors, a lot of realtors come out, mortgage agents, and we all share, like, every day we do a reel challenge, or you have to pay $10. $10 is not a lot, but it's just like the principle of it. So nobody wants to pay $10. So we're like, at the end of the 30 days, your $10 is going to go towards like lunch for the group. So every day people are coming up and showing up on Instagram. We're teaching them the techniques, how to do captions, how to do, you know, come in front of the video. So yesterday we met for lunch and we're just doing a recap and pouring into everybody, like, you know, what is something you remember about this business? When you look at their social media, what do you think of? What does that tell you, like, about their business? What are things that you recommend that they should do more of? So just doing that is like, that's our community. One of the mortgage agents got interviews with CTV. It's not going to stop, guys.
No, but it's the eclipse. Isn't it the time for the eclipse now?
Oh, it's eclipse time.
Yeah, the solar eclipse time is about to like end in 1 minute. Also, the next solar eclipse is gonna start at about April 8th, 2024.
You guys are getting all the numbers and the
Oh
stats.
man,
Wow.
like, we're gonna have to wait a whole other year? A whole other, oh wow.
Yeah, it's also gonna fly over Mexico.
Daniel,
Okay,
you're
well-
not helping. You're
Wow.
not helping, Daniel.
You might be hooking me up with a trip to Mexico here.
Flying over-
Thanks.
It's flying over North America.
Bye.
Okay.
Cartier. Thank you.
Thanks for the reminder.
Because you don't have any boys, Daniel. That's why you like all this.
Oh, we
information.
have one. We have one. One
What?
boy
One lonely
boy.
boy. Yeah.
and a
More
dog
girls
boy.
and one boy?
3 girls,
Oh.
1 boy, and 1
Girls and
dog
one
boy.
boy. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's busy. I love it. That is cool.
It's
So
all
we had
good though.
yesterday, and it was just sharing about social media, what's working, what's not working, and just pouring into other business owners. So that was really fun yesterday.
That's awesome. And I love how you include both realtors and, you know, other people outside of the industry as well. Like that's awesome that you just kind of bring that all together. And is that like for right now, like in terms of how you're growing your business, I notice you do a lot of events and community type stuff. Is that a big pillar of your business right now at this stage?
100%, because I know, and the reason for that is because representation matters, right? Like starting in this business 20 years ago, there wasn't a lot of women on the stage in real estate. It wasn't a lot of multicultural, you know, communities showing up and representing. So it's really important. And I feel great, like when other people are coming to the business, like, you know, I want to be a realtor like you. I'm like, and I tell them, you know, they be bigger than me, don't stop there and be who you're going to be. Don't be the next Jasmine Lee, be yourself in the biggest way that you want to be and show up. So I think that's really super important. So like, we have our next 3 days. I'm going to be in Montreal for another conference there that we're putting on our organization, and just talking about, you know, getting into real estate and helping other realtors in real estate. And just traveling with it, it's great. Like the power of social media. I'm showing up in Montreal, they already know my name. I'm like, wow, like that, your footprint's already there because of social media. Like one of the business owners yesterday, her sister's from London. She's like, I know Jasmine Lee. It's like, how do you, like, that's crazy. But that's the power of social media, guys.
Yeah.
So true.
So do you draw a line between the business social media and the personal social media? Or is it one big world that you're just throwing everything into the mix?
You know what? You share as much as you're comfortable with. So I tell realtors, starting with social media, it should be like, you know, at least business, personal, business. And then when you're comfortable, it can be personal, business, personal, right? So you can give a nice mix of everything that you're comfortable with. But the more the clients know you and they connect to you, the more they're going to want to work. People work with who they like, right? And they like, know, and trust. But if you're an agent who's just showing like listed, sold, interest rates, like they can get that anywhere. Why are they going to follow you? And would you follow an account that just posts that?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I find, yeah. And as you were saying before, like the personal stuff is the stuff that people will react to. And that's what starts the conversation. The business stuff is like a nice support. It like solidifies that you're in the business. And I think people consume it. They just don't react to it as much as your personal stuff. So I think that's
Yeah, so I was
helpful.
just telling agents yesterday that I was with at the luncheon that, you know, if you post it just listed and there's not as much reaction to like something else that you're posting, and it's more, you know, relationship posting, don't feel bad. They still see it. Just because they didn't
Yeah,
engage with it doesn't mean that they didn't see it.
exactly. Yeah.
We were just talking about that. Like I just came back from a conference and people approach us saying, I listen to your podcast, da, 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 da," and they've never reacted, right?
Mhm.
Or not that we've noticed, but people see, people know,
Uh,
and that's awesome. Like
okay,
it's
Mhm.
just
Danielle, when did you guys start your podcast?
you're like our 170th episode, maybe?
No
We
way.
started it was right, it was before COVID, wasn't it?
I think so.
It
Yeah.
was just before COVID hit, and we've been every week since.
Yeah.
So
Every week.
yeah,
That means you enjoy it. So what made you birth this new baby?
it's because we were done having the real one.
Yeah.
What's going to cost us less money and time? I know,
That's
podcast.
true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I mean, yeah, I think it was just like having conversations like this. Number one, connecting with amazing people like yourself. Like that's so it just I find like the relationships you build from it is so awesome. And yeah, I think there's always the very common questions, as you were saying, that you get from people, and to be able to answer those on this sort of a platform
Mhm.
um is really
Well,
great.
that's what it is. It's been a platform. Like we like to talk, but we can't be driving. Well, we could be, but we'd rather not be driving door to door yelling things into a megaphone. Like this is kind of the consolidated version where somehow after this much time we haven't run out of things to say because the world's always changing. More and more cool people are, we're able to discover and find and say, hopefully they want to talk to us.
Yeah.
And I mean, even the podcast, like everybody's business, like people who have been listening know this didn't start as Level Up. This didn't even start as a real estate podcast. The first 10 episodes we didn't know what we were doing. We still don't know what we're doing. Right. But
Yeah.
that's the fun of it. It's just like,
That's the fun. And that's
yeah.
the thing. People are taking themselves way too seriously, right? It's just have fun with it. And like the team you like going back to team, the team you start with is not who you're going to finish with a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And the evolution of the podcast too, and just having
Mhm.
fun with it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so evolution wise, where are you planning where you're going next, or do you just let life hit you and keep growing with it?
Well, definitely we have, 5-year game plan for sure. And we vision board as a team. We encourage the community. When we vision board every October, November, we share it and show how we do our vision boards. We move to now digital vision board. So it's always on our laptop and phone. So we are definitely about goal setting. Our team has
Mhm.
their goals that they want to hit each year, and we make sure we're on target. And if you're not on target, what can we do to support you better to hit your goals? So definitely goal setting. I love that now we can do buyer consults virtual, seller consults virtually, right? So I want to be somewhere hotter, like in, the cold season, like kind of extend that a little bit more, Daniel. Right now, we're seeing a lot of our clients move all around the world. One of my partners at EXP, she just bought a house in Bahamas. I went to go visit her, and I have to tell you, I'm in love with Bahamas. It's only 3-hour flight from here to Bahamas, direct, 30 minutes to
Very good.
Miami. It's like a amazing balance. And I was like, okay, when I got home, I'm like, okay. As soon as I got home, I was looking at listings online.
Yeah.
Add it to the vision board.
Yeah.
Bahamas are there now.
I was like, honey, I found the island because I was traveling so much. I felt like an island is an island, but it's the people that make it like, worthwhile. So we're excited about Bahamas.
That's really cool. So in terms of, the growth, I guess, I know you said quality over quantity. Are you thinking this is kind of the format, the number of the
Well, we're
number of
going
people you want on the
partners.
team?
Okay, so
Yeah.
great question. So yes, we are always hiring, but it has to be the right fit, and we interview as a team. So I interview, and then we interview as a team. So right now we're onboarding another support staff. So we're interviewing as a team. They shared a video, I shared with the team. Then we do a group interview. So we are always growing. We're looking for quality. We have a lot of partners. We're at like over 150 partners, realtor partners worldwide. So we have a great group of people, and that's growing, and we love that. So for the team, quality over quantity. We're pretty solid in the GTA, and our team has showing agents, so they have support too. So we're pretty solid on the team right now,
Nice.
but always room for partners.
Awesome.
awesome.
So we're talking all this social media. We haven't yet. I mean, obviously it's going to be in the show notes, but plug a little bit about where you are. Like, where are people going to find you? Because I'm sure everyone listening is already following you, but if they're not,
Thank
if they're
you.
not,
So and that's the thing about social media. I know they say like, you know, try like there's so many, you got to find the one that really works for you. Our main one that we use is Instagram. It's kind of showing your age or demographics, kind of, they say, right? So we're mainly on Instagram. The Jasmine Lee team, we cover the GTA, our team, and my team is with Rixie and Chris. We're all licensed agents, and we have our support staff that helps with everything, keep the glue to the team. And we've been selling real estate since 2004.
Awesome.
I
So
think
everybody,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, so everybody go to Instagram. If you haven't followed Jasmine, do that, because honestly, like when I see what you're doing and what you're up to, it's so inspiring just to see how you bring people together. So it's really cool to see that in action.
That's it. Well, that's the reality here. Like every guest we have, you'll learn the tip of the iceberg. You listen to 30 minutes with somebody, you follow them, now you're in their life. You learn everything you need to know. Look back a year, look every day, you're seeing what's happening in real time, and you can interact.
I traveled to St. Lucia. I did a flight by myself, and I do travel by myself still. As a mom, you're allowed to. So I was in St. Lucia. I landed, this lady was like, "Hey, your name's Jasmine." And I usually don't, like, I was like, it was a red eye. I was like, "No, it's not me." She's like, "Yeah, it's Jasmine Lee. I follow you on Instagram." And she showed me my profile. Like, that's the power of social media. I was like, wow. And I mean, like, depends on how much you share. People were coming to me like, you know, I didn't really like that guy for you. Like that you homeschool your son, like they'll give you feedback. If you share it, they're going to give you feedback.
Very true. Yeah.
They create a community and they look out for you too, right? So I get questions about homeschooling because, you know, I share that I homeschool Cartier and they love it, and they want to know more and they want to know how to get started. I share that I'm a landlady, and during COVID, my tenant wasn't paying the rent. And I got some questions like, you know, well, they're like, yeah, well, if she's not paying rent, that means you don't have to pay your mortgage. I'm like, no, the mortgage has to be paid.
Yeah.
That'd be a great rule though. Let's lobby the government for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So on the top of podcasts, what is like some like highlights for doing podcasts for you guys, some feedback that you guys got?
Of the experience that we've had?
Yeah, like some of the feedback you got from people listening, or even for you just doing the podcast. What has it done for you?
You want to go first or should I? You can go first. Ladies first.
Sure. Ladies first. I think for me, it's when people reach out and say, I just listened to that podcast and it was really helpful. Like if we can help people figure something out in their business, I feel like that is just so rewarding. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do within our own brokerage. So to be able to do that outside of the brokerage as well. Yeah, it's helpful. And it's also good to get the feedback because you know what people are looking for and what they're struggling with, and how you can kind of build more content around those types of questions. So it's fun, very rewarding.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's a good answer. I'll pick a different one just to keep it fresh, I guess. But I mean, of everything we do, this has been my biggest lesson in accountability, I think, on a personal level for both of us. I mean, we know we now have actual people who wait for the next episode, which is super cool, but it also means we better get it out there. We better have something planned. We're now meeting, you know, at the beginning of every month to map out what our episodes are going to be, to make sure that we know what we're up to, what the hot button issue is. Doesn't matter if we're tired, if we're not feeling it, it's happening, right?
So gotta show up.
I think, you know, accountability is a big thing that we push everywhere in our business and with our brokerage and with all of our people. But this is, to me, the biggest accountability thing, because there's so many other people, whether or not they care. I tell myself they care.
Yeah.
You know? So that's enough for me to make sure that we get it done and that it's all going up there on time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it lives on. Your podcast is gonna live on beyond, you know, so that's beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Whether people like it or not, it's everywhere. People are gonna find it.
Well, we've got to get our kids together and they can start their own podcast, and that would be awesome.
Yes, that's amazing.
That's right. If they
Yeah.
can have Cartier on for like one of their first
Oh,
episodes, that would be
please.
awesome.
Yes, young entrepreneurs and kids that, kids of realtors, that would be amazing.
That's a good idea.
That's actually a pretty cool
We
idea.
need to talk about that more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. That'd get more listeners than we do.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Listen, again, like Cartier being on stage, or like there's so many messages, so many DMs after he was on. It was like amazing. And just getting inspired from a child to an adult, it really hit
Yeah.
home. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Well, the
Wow.
world needs, in a lot of cases, less of a filter and the ability to be honest the way kids are honest, so that we're not
Yes.
hiding behind what we're really thinking. Because that's
Yes.
that's how you get things done and move forward. It's just be honest with people, be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
you guys are not the typical broker owners. Hello. Like that is like the coolest culture in your company. I definitely got to come by the office.
Oh, please,
Yeah,
please.
we'd love that.
We
Yeah.
made that error of building a nice, big, sexy office like 2 weeks before COVID. We're like, oh yeah, the world doesn't need sexy offices anymore. So
That's okay.
we've got food, we got drinks, we've got
Oh,
seating.
listen. So Tuesday's team meeting, I buy lunch. I was at this buzz conference, and I was speaking on it as well. Another team leader's like, oh, we have gumball machines, we have cotton candy. This is how we get the adult realtors to come to the office. I was like, oh my gosh. But every Tuesday I order food or I get it catered, and it's like sushi is one of my, my meal prep chefs, like doing different stuff with the girls. We do seafood boils. Sometimes we eat too much and not enough work gets done, but it brings them to the office.
That's key. That is so key.
It's no joke too, because we one of our newest agents, we interview well, we try to interview all of them just like to get to know them. And the biggest sell for him to join our brokerage was the peanut M&Ms. That's what it was.
Everybody's like these big kids at heart, really, right? You know what I mean?
True.
It's always here. And now we're accountable to that too. That jar is always full. I don't care how many you're going to binge when you're here. It'll be full the next day you come in. So
That's right.
All
It's
right,
a little dangerous, but it's good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciated the
Oh
chat.
my
You were
gosh.
awesome. And
The
I know
time
people are going to
flew
get lost.
so much. Oh, that's amazing. The time flew. Thank you guys so much, Daniel and Katie. I appreciate it. Well, I'll definitely come by the office. I'll bring the team.
Yes.
Awesome.
No, that would be awesome. And please tell Cartier thank you as well for showing up. It was great
All
to
right,
see him.
maybe we'll catch the end of the eclipse now, hopefully.
Right.
Yes, we will. All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
Hey, take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Have a good day.